Absolutely. Coach Izzo, he got a coat on today. I had no coat on. Midnight Madness coming this week. I want to thank Coach, first of all, for coming down to the game on Saturday. I haven't made that trek yet. Maybe I'll make that sometime. Take the abuse. Take the abuse.
You couldn't be on the bench like I could hiding, at my place, or at their place. But you know what's funny? You used to wear a sport coat and that here, and I used to dress like the class clown, and then you won 31 out of 34. I decided to wear a sport coat, try to catch up. And
what are you coming as this week?
Like me. Huh?
What are you coming as this week?
I might come as you right now.
No, come on.
Huh?
Tom Izzo's up.
See you, man.
Okay, man. See you.
Oh, what a great week, huh? Doesn't get any better than this for any of us. But I don't know what to say because we do have our Midnight Madness coming up, and it's so different now than other years because we've already been practicing. And actually had some great practices. And I actually find out tonight what I am doing. That'll be interesting. I try to find out later and later and later so I can get out of something. But practice has gone well so far. I'm going to try to change up the midnight a little bit and do a little bit more than maybe we've done other years. I think the playing will be a little bit better because we've been playing 1 against 2 the whole time. We don't have as many players with a couple guys hurt. That's the bad news, but the good news is the games will be real even. And so I think it'll be a competitive atmosphere. And I'd hope all of you get it out. It's been fun to almost have sellouts for the last 5 years, and sellouts when you're free is better. But this is a chance, I think, for the only thing I miss is I know you don't miss it being at midnight. I do because I used to love to see the 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12-year-olds the first time they stayed out till midnight. Of course, this day and age, they're probably coming back from the bars at midnight, those 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12-year-olds. So it's probably changed a little bit than it was. But it was fun to see those kids with their dads out till midnight, and that was like a big deal. And, now at, 8:30, 9:30, whatever time. What time? Yeah, 9:30, 10-ish, so it's not as much fun as it is at midnight in that respect. But I think it's better for the people, and it's better for us. It's definitely better for our poor band, who always has to do double duty, and they're so great. But that's tough when they got out of there at 2, and then John, the slave driver, had them back at 7 in the morning. So now it's a little better for them. So I don't know if you got any questions. Maybe that's the best way to do this because I don't really. Take some questions, fill some notebooks. As if you guys need help filling notebooks.
Tom, what was your view of that final play and your reaction to it on Saturday night?
Well, like all good people, I was running up the tunnel, and because I had my son with me, and I took a little abuse going in, but it was just, I looked at the stats at halftime. I thought we were outplaying them. So, I listened to everybody talk about that night. I listened to all the talking heads and, read a few papers. And the fun part about being, the one thing that Mark gives me a chance to do seriously, being on the field and seeing guys come out that maybe are a little injured and what they go through and listening to the coaches. And it's so much fun for me because I don't have to, guess on what's going on or what's being said. I get to see it firsthand. And it was a bizarre game, and it was a bizarre play. I can't figure out how anybody's not made it the play of all plays. I mean, I agree that the Colorado game and, seemed like some good moments down there to me, but the Colorado game or the kick 6 or whatever they call it, but those things are going to happen. There's so many things that had to happen in this one for it to happen that I just think it was maybe the greatest play that all the years of football I watched, and I do say this, I took great pleasure in, I was on the Rich Eisen's show on Friday. My buddy Mariucci does a little thing with him on Monday, and so I told Mariucci to make a friendly wager since it's against NCAA violations for me to do that. And so when I went on his show Friday, he had his 2-year-old daughter. His wife was kind of giving her the words, and she sang me the Michigan fight song. So in the mail right now in Federal Express is the Spartan fight song going to Rich Eisen's daughter. Hopefully she'll have that thing down. And then Marici dressed up in his green and white outfit. And Earl, you get fined $100 in my meetings for that, not 50. But so it was, it was a good day. It was a good day to be a Spartan. I mean, what can I say? A tough loss for them. Do feel for the punter. Reminded me back of missing a free throw, and you go through some stuff. But what I really enjoyed the most of anything is the number of people that talk to me about understanding why I hate the social media. So I might as well get my first, the great Michigan fans that are ripping him. I can't even go there. That's how bad it is. But it was a great weekend for us, great weekend for Mark, great weekend all around. Irvin's comments, Jamel Hill, they talk about myself or D'Antonio could run for governor. Jamel Hill is my case right now, should run for president. She was awesome.
Tom, with your entrances every year, there's got to be pressure, whether you admit it or not, you have to outdo yourself at every point. At some point, do you say, okay, we're just going to stop because I have to keep doubling and doubling? Is there that pressure? Because, that's what everybody talks about at Midnight Madness. It's not the introductions. It's not the scrimmage. It's your entrance.
Yeah, that's kind of sad because, it needed to be that way early because nobody knew who our players were. But now it's a little different, and it really should go to the players. I don't know why I keep doing it. Part Hollis, part our incredible marketing department, part the fun of being able to make a fool of yourself and laugh at yourself. I learned that from Judd Heathcote. And but yeah, there is a little pressure on. Thank God I don't come up with those things. But I'm sure it'll be something interesting, and yet I think our players will have some fun to it. It really is a fun night when you get to enjoy it with young kids that don't normally get to see the game. That's the cool part of Midnight Madness to me, is a lot of people that don't get to enjoy the games during the year get to come with their parents, and to me that's the cool part. So pressure, it was an interesting question you asked Mark about this week. What is it like, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, no insult intended, but it beats the hell out of the other way. If you would have lost the game and you had to get them back up, well, it's nice to have pressure to try to outdo something that's been great. That's good pressure to have. So we'll see what we can do with it.
Do you have any favorites over the last several years of what you did, or not favorites or most memorable ones?
I really was looking forward to getting shot out of the cannon, but NCAA or the university kind of nixed it. As I said a million times, my wife's boyfriend was hoping that I would do it, but other than that, and I think Hollis was hoping, but I think Lana felt the insurance policy would be too high. So, it's still one of my favorites. The motorcycle was a favorite. Probably my favorite one of all was the tribute to Magic and the '79 team. You know what? Because that was more the players, watching them with the short shorts and all that stuff was fun. And rappelling down from the ceiling was still one of the more eerie ones for me when they pushed me off that beam and sat me there for 5 minutes. I was ticked off, to say the least, but made it through that one. So, riding on a horse and worrying about, at the last minute they had to put socks on the horse because they didn't want him ruining the floor. And then they told me that we're a little concerned that his legs might go like this, and, that. So there's been some things that behind the scenes you guys don't know about that were a little bit different, but I don't know. It's they've all been good in their own way.
Tom, when you talk about bets and the comment from Dan Gilbert that next to the birth of his kids and his marriage, that was a highlight of his life Saturday, would you guess that he and LeBron will have a little bet before the Michigan State-Ohio State game? Oh,
I bet you they will. And at least right now, Dan's got a little bit more money than LeBron, so I hope the stakes are high. Although he's closing quickly on that. But That's the fun part of this whole thing, I think, and that's what makes the rivalry great. It's so much fun to watch so many guys around the country. I mean, the calls I got on the way home, listening to you, George, on the show, and I just absolutely enjoyed it, like you should. I've been on the other side of it, though, so I have an appreciation for both sides, and personally, I like this side a lot better than the other side. But there'll be, that's what water coolers are for, that's what establishments are for, that's what coffee shops are for. Twitter is not for that. Twitter, I'm trying to figure out the real reason for that ridiculous invention. But I'm sure it won't happen in my lifetime where I figure it out. So I'll be looking down saying to somebody someday, they finally got rid of that.
I was just wondering, Tom, you mentioned you took a little abuse going out of the tunnel. What was it like? Was that the first time you and Stephen have been?
Yeah, that's the first time I haven't been to
State
Michigan
game
in a
aside?
while. It's a little harder to go down there. And I told Coach D, I said, I'd like to take Stephen down and see a big win. And he said, well, just come on down on the bench, because I'm not a big press box guy, as you all know. And God, it's weird there because it seemed like our fans were like scattered everywhere, we didn't have really a section, so it was a little safer to be where I was, and how much I enjoy my spot there in football, and it was fun for Stephen, I looked at Stephen, I said, Stephen, if this is an NCAA violation, if they ever think you're going to be an offensive tackle, I said, it's worth the penalty. I didn't actually see the exact play, believe it or not. Ran back down and no, I didn't give up on him. I was worried about my own safety, my son's. But hey, I'm telling you, I've never seen a play like that. I watched the band play too, and I still think this was as good as any I've ever seen, and it does teach you a lesson about it's never over till it's over, so we'll see what that leads. But that was like missing a free throw and then guy throwing it behind his back the length of the court, it's the way it was. But I think what gets lost in that too is, and I'm looking at halftime at the stats, and I thought we pretty much dominated the stats, and I told Mark after, I know he's not real happy with his special teams. I heard a little bit of it, and working on that, it kind of reminded me of our free throw shooting last year. That's part of my special teams, and so it'll give him something to coach this week. And but I'd be remiss if I didn't say what an incredible job he's done to win 31 out of 34 games. And I was talking to a few of the talking head friends of mine at ESPN and football, and when you make that statement, I don't care who you play, where you play, when you play, or how you play. Those are incredible numbers. And it sure has made a lot of people here feel better about themselves, and I think it helps recruiting for all of our sports, and can't say enough of how enjoyable it is to sit at his house after a big game and remind me of old times. So got a lot of work to do yet, because that playoff thing for them is tough. We got a lot of work to do in basketball, but I do think we're making some progress. Haven't really spoke much. I know next week's media day, but I've enjoyed my team so far, because we're undefeated. But it's kind of going to be a more exciting team, I think. We shoot the ball very well. My theory, it's almost illegal to be a shooter and a defender, but I decided that it's a lot easier for me to coach the defensive side of it than to make a guy a good shooter. So any other questions, I'll be glad to answer them. Otherwise, yes.
More exciting. Wasn't last year exciting enough?
No, I'm sick of getting there and losing, if you want the truth. I mean, I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. I do enjoy getting there, and it used to be the goal, going to a Final Four was the goal. That's been changed now a little bit. And I say that only because maybe it's my fault that we get there and we think we've accomplished something. I don't really believe that, but It's you got to finish the job, and that's one thing. I think taking it to another level. I think that's what we got to do. We got to learn how to finish the season, and I don't know if this year's one of those or not, but I think we got just as good a chance as a lot of teams. I think our league's going to be really, really, really good. I think it'll be the best league in the country, but navigating through that will help prepare us for hopefully another run.
Yeah. Tom, a slightly different topic, but Coach Case is actually stepping down from the USA basketball job this time after 16. I know in the past you've called that kind of a dream job. Is that something you would still like to do going forward?
Well, I think anybody'd like to do it. I do think they'll go with an NBA guy. I'll still look to be a water boy on somebody's staff. I just want to be a part of the Olympics sometime. But, I think they'll go with an NBA guy. There's some good college guys out there, but I think there's a couple good NBA guys, too, that I happen to respect a lot and like. So if they need a water boy, I'm the guy. But we'll see. You never know which direction Jerry will go and how he'll do it. But Mike's had an incredible run. He's 79-1, and yet I think what Mark D'Antonio did at 31-3 or whatever he is probably more incredible, if you can believe that. That's how big this is.
Anything else, guys?
Yeah, Tom, your guys have gotten into football a lot going to Indianapolis a couple years ago. What can they get out of the ending of this game, and what will you say to Jalen Watts-Jackson when you see him?
I want to hug and kiss him, for God's sakes. That was an incredible play. And when you really look at that play, too, the way he stayed in bounds and cut back and then gave up his body. And I'd say he played it till the end, and I think my team can get a lot out of it. It just infuses enthusiasm and excitement and makes you understand if you believe, you can get something done. And the old adages, I say old adages when the quotes, whenever one bad apple ruins the barrel. That was there when my dad's dad was dead. And it'll be there for years to come. And, it's never over till it's over is one that I've heard forever, and if there was ever a time that it proved that, it was that. And I think every once in a while players need to see things that happen, and if you stay persevered and you kind of stick to your guns. And, I thought there were some big plays on first, second, and third down. They could have quit on that and given up a first down, but they didn't. And so we did talk the next day because, everybody knew I was going down, and they knew, they know my love for the game. And so we did talk for 10 minutes about it, about different things that happened, about different things on the sidelines, guys, playing hurt and sucking it up and all the things that went on. I use football often, but on Sunday I used it even more. So it was good.
Anything else?
All right, guys, thanks. Hopefully I'll see you there. Otherwise I'll see you this weekend. Otherwise I'll see you next week, and see you sometime.